Cornerstone Kids, we thought we can't let the parents have all the fun. So we'll also be having Children's Church online. Please keep an eye on the Cornerstone Church website. You can see some worship, some stories and activities that we're going to keep on posting. So let's get started. Nikki and Stas have a cool lesson for us.
Hi, Stas. Hey, what's wrong?
Hi, Nikki. I'm just so afraid.
Oh, it's not nice being afraid. What's making you so scared?
Well, all the grown-ups are talking about this coconuts.
I know. And you know what? I get afraid too sometimes, especially when I don't know what's happening next. But you know what I do when I'm afraid?
Hide under your bed.
No, that won't work.
Yeah, it's too squishy and dusty.
We have the Bible, and the Bible tells us so many times not to be afraid. My favorite verse is actually 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 that says, "For God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and self-control." I even have some actions that go with it. Can I teach them to you?
Yes.
It goes like this. For God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and self-control. Do it with me. Do it with me, everyone. For God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and self-control. One more time. For God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and self-control.
So every time I feel afraid, I must just spend time with God and read the Bible?
Exactly. And you know what else you can do? There's some cool activities on the Cornerstone Church website that you can do.
Wow, thanks, Nikki. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a poster with that verse on it and hang it over my bed. And you can do that too.
Let's go.
So we're going to kick off with a really cool object lesson. So what I have here is 2 bowls, okay? This bowl is going to represent the world, which is basically where we find ourselves, that we're living in this world. And this bowl is going to represent Jesus, because obviously as children of God, we belong to Jesus. But now the problem is, often in this world, we can get very distracted by sometimes being caught up too much with what the world is telling us and not so much what God is telling us. And so we're going to pretend that these sponges are us. You, me, your friend. Look at your friend and say, "Hey, sponge," just for now. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. "Hey, sponge." Okay, and do that someone else. Okay, 3, 2, 1. "Hey, sponge." Okay, you ready? You got this? You're sponges. Pick a sponge. The world, Jesus. Now, what can happen is, now especially with our current situation, the world is full of a lot of negative things. There's fear, there's anxiety, which is, stress, and people are confused. They're not sure what's happening next. Can I go here? Can I do this? Are we stuck here? And it's this quite a stressful situation, especially at the moment. But just in general, the world can be a very negative place sometimes, where we're influenced by a lot of negative things, and our mind can often begin thinking through those things all the time. And we can get so caught up with it. We can get so sucked up with what the world is throwing at us and what they're making us think. And so the more we spend time and we let the world almost like soak into us, and we soak up the world, we become full of those exact things, that we become full of the stresses, the anxiety, all those things, because that becomes, what we're thinking about. And the problem is, when any stress comes on us and the squeeze comes, all that comes out of us are those worldly things. It's the stress that comes out of us. It's the anxiety that comes out of us. It's all those things that come out of us because it's what we've been soaking ourselves into. Okay, I'm gonna leave that little guy in there. But now the difference here is that in the same way we're in this world, the Bible tells us that we may be in this world, but we're not of it. We're of a heavenly kingdom, which is Jesus. And so when we decide to soak ourselves in Jesus, okay, we start absorbing Jesus and the fruit of the Spirit, or love, peace, patience, kindness. And you can find that in Galatians 5:22. You can check all those scriptures out. And so then basically we get absorbed into Jesus, and it's beautiful, and all those things begin to fill us, so that when a pressure situation comes, or something, not nice comes, like what we're even currently going through, when pressure comes and the squeeze comes, all that should come out of us is the fruit of the Spirit, not those things of the world, because we're full of Jesus. And so no matter what we're going through, if we're soaking ourselves in Jesus, all that should come out of us is Jesus. And we need to be the example to those around us. When things aren't going well, we're the ones who stand up and say, listen, we've got to soak ourselves in Jesus, so that when the tough, hard times come and squeeze on us and the pressure comes, all that comes out of us is the fruit of the Spirit. And so in a little while, we're going to look at a story that explains this, how important it is that we soak ourselves in Jesus every single day, so that all that comes out of us is Jesus. Pretty cool. Now you guys can try this at home, because this is all things you'll find in your mom's kitchen. You got some dish sponges, maybe you can even wash dishes afterwards. Got some 2 glass bowls, got some water, and this is just water with food coloring or some mixed juice mixed with some water. So you guys can try that out, but let's check out the story where we see this in action. Okay guys, so we're going to get straight into our story for today, like I mentioned. Now you may have heard the story before, or you may not have, but either way, open your ears, because it's going to change your life forever. So we're looking at the story of Jesus calming the storm. Now you can find this story in the Bible, in fact, in 2 accounts in the Gospels, in Mark 4, verse 35 to 41, and Matthew 8, verse 23 to 27. So afterwards, you can go find those books in your Bible and go read it for yourself, because they're very exciting. So I'm going to give you just a brief summary of what went down that day. So our story begins, okay, Jesus has been preaching all day to all the people. They love to listen to him preach, but it had been a long day and he was feeling really tired. See, even Jesus got tired when he was human. And so he told his disciples, right, we're going to get on a boat and we're going to go across the Sea of Galilee and we're going to go to the other side to rest. And so anyways, they get on this boat and off they go, and Jesus falls asleep while they're on their way across Galilee. And while he's sleeping, a massive storm comes out of nowhere. And I mean, it is big. There are waves way bigger than the boat. The disciples are completely freaking out. They're like, what is going on? The boat is being tossed from side to side. It's just, there's waves crashing into the boat. It's just madness. I mean, it's nighttime as well, so it's dark, and they're really freaking out a bit. And everyone's looking for Jesus, like, where is Jesus? Where is he? Why isn't he doing something? And so eventually they go and find him, and Jesus is sleeping, and they're thinking, Lord, how can you be sleeping at a time like this? So they wake him up. They're like, Jesus, can you not see what's going on? We're all freaking out here. We're about to die and you're sleeping. And they're thinking, this is crazy, Lord. Like, how can you be sleeping at a time like this? Anyways, Jesus gets up, and his first response to them is, where is your faith? And they're thinking, Lord, are you mad? Like, we're about to die here. But Jesus calmly gets up, and all he does is he tells the wind and the waves to be still. He says, be quiet. And immediately they stop. And the disciples all stand there in awe, and Jesus is like, you need to have faith. And we see in the story that Jesus was filled with the heart of the Father, and so he had so much peace, even though there was so much chaos going on around him. Whereas those disciples, they freaked out at the first sign of trouble, and we can't be like that. We need to soak ourselves in Jesus, so that no matter what storms come up around us, or no matter what hectic things we're going through, that we can be peaceful in the midst of the storm. And not because we do it ourselves, but because the peace of God inside of us, the fruit of the Spirit that we get when we soak ourselves in Jesus. And so we need to have the peace of God that passes all understanding. Remember, we can't understand the peace that God gives us, but it's so real. And so there you have it. We need to be filled with his peace, that when trying times come, we can be calm.